That's my from one studio to another. That's my.
Oh, so you talking about yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's times I open up people's albums, I'll be like, damn, 22 songs, I ain't got time for this. My name's Ebro, that's Nadeska, and that's Low, and this is the Rap Life Review. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get to this new music that just dropped this week. An album I was pleasantly surprised and gave it time because I had no expectations is the KAYTRAMINÉ.
Okay.
I didn't know. I love Aminé musically. I love how he experiments. He's a great kid. Been dope. Dope aesthetic and how he presents in hip hop. I love KAYTRANADA. But I didn't know where am I getting the house album. Am I getting? I didn't know where it was going. So I was pleasantly surprised by that project.
It was.
And by the way, it was only like 10 tracks.
It was nice and short.
It was to the point.
It was nice and it wasn't long and like redundant. So there's a couple cool features I like. I like the track with Big Sean. I think that's Master P. I like the Amaray joint.
I like the joint with Pharrell.
Yeah, Forever. That was like one of the first singles they dropped. I would say for me, you didn't go in with expectations. Maybe I had some, although I didn't want to have any.
Got it.
Because I love KAYTRANADA. So I think I'm used to, and I don't have a better word, his albums always just being kind of vibey. And it being like,
vibey.
Exactly, it's being like,
I think it's smooth.
It's smooth, but it's not like vibey in the way
it's still
I'm dancey.
It's
still a smooth, up-tempo album.
Yeah, so it was like a little bit of an adjustment to me, like him working also with just one artist the entire way through, but definitely some dope tracks on it.
Another great album if you're a rap fan. I'm a Belly fan. I really like him personally, but also like the fact that this is a guy who is a songwriter and has given his written songs for amazing people and puts out rap albums, A, because that's who he was as an original artist, but B, for the love of putting out dope shit. Exec produced by Hit Boy. Definitely an album I think you should go listen to. The beats are crazy. And I think he's got a dope perspective just coming from as an immigrant, Palestinian, Canadian, like all of that. I think it's just a dope perspective. So go look that Mumble Rap 2 from Belly. And then we got hit with some of the legends came outside. Beyonce and Kendrick. Super surprised. Kendrick Lamar jumped on America's Got a Problem. Definitely had to listen to 10 times to understand what Kendrick was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Kendrick has a unique...
dense. I call it dense.
You said dense?
Dense. Like there's a lot to it.
Oh, there's a lot of layers to what he says, how he says it, you know, where he's saying it at, but that was a collaboration I wasn't expecting. It randomly just came out the sky.
But then it's on the song that you would expect if you were expecting, right?
Perfect. So like content-wise, it does make sense. I could see him popping out at some of these shows that Beyonce's doing. So I think that's the layup for this.
But he said in the verse, he said he's Beehive.
Yeah.
So he's definitely gonna show up. He's gonna be front row.
No, it caused a lot of conversation on the timeline.
Listen, I just love when Kendrick reminds us that he's happy to slap somebody if he needs to. That's my favorite always. I love that.
And then we got to shout out Summer Walker for having J. Cole on the intro. I didn't expect that.
No, that makes. I think that makes sense.
The album from Summer's been getting some mixed reviews.
Yo, I see.
It's very polarizing.
Why people don't like Positive Summer?
Nah.
She's been through it, and she's trying to like turn a new leaf on this project. That's what I'm getting from it.
They tearing her shit up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the production? Is it the songwriting?
I think it's the perspective of which
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both.
They don't
from what I read.
Summer living her soft life.
But there's been artists that have gone through this before. Like Mary went through this, right? Where the brand is built on
toxicity, no more drama, and people weren't with it.
And then as they try to grow as human beings, everybody's like, nah, fuck that. We want your life in shambles.
Right.
And it's like, bro,
that's when Mary made her best music. Mary made her best music the first 3 albums when her life was in shambles.
Newports and Cognac.
Listen, I want Summer Walker to have a good life, but I have a feeling that the people might get more if they want on the next project. It's just an EP, it's just a few songs.
You
know
just feel like you got like an inside track on something.
That's
your people Summer too. That's your people. Y'all probably talk.
Anyway, it's a really nice verse. I like the audio hug. It's really dope. You know, it's cool because sometimes you hear rappers like Cole who are super introspective, like I think Kendrick will do it too, write about a woman and the stuff that she's going through and giving her props for making it. It's cool to have somebody do it on the song. You know, like Dear Summer, I see everything you're going through. You're juggling fame and messy relationships and being a mom. Like, it's cool. Take a break. Clear your mind. Like, I think that's really dope on a song.
You know, I really wanted to talk about Cole's verse, which is amazing, and I love the way he presented on that album. But I think just the larger, as we watch these artists grow in front of our eyes, if those of us who y'all call gatekeepers, one of the things I would encourage us to do is to stand
by them
and have solidarity. If they're truly our superstars and we want them to be our superstars and represent hip hop or R&B or black music in general, when they go and try to grow, the audience is not necessarily here for all of that. It's going to be up to us that are kind of the ones playing the music, talking about the records and things like that, to try to help provide context and be there for them and not write them off just to ingratiate ourselves with the audience.
Right.
And sometimes that's hard to do, right? Because you see the audience saying one thing and you're like, I'm with them, but you know better as someone on the inside to be like, listen, just like you said, there you have it.
We support it. Strong.
Summer, we're with you. Keep
we're
evolving.
with you. I mean, Cole's with you. That was the perfect
And look, she was
opening
with the
verse
Ratchets
for-
backstage right after the album came out. I saw it. They wanted us to talk about dream collaborations, dead or alive. I don't know why that's here. Do you have any insight, Lo?
I mean, I guess, Aminé KAYTRANADA put their joint out. Nas and Hit Boy been doing their thing. Larry June and the Alchemist, Currency and JD. So I guess that's where that spawned.
Is there any collaboration we haven't seen that you guys feel like this needs to happen?
I tweeted the other night about me wanting to hear Jay and Just Blaze, just them together.
A full project, all Just Blaze and Hope.
7 to 8 records.
Okay.
Of Just Blaze and Hope. Like, we've seen the pockets Just puts Jay in over his entire career. So if he has one full body of work, I think I'd be satisfied as far as my dream collaboration.
Some of my favorite records are Jay and Just Blaze.
Exactly. So yeah, I would love to see them just knock one out before Jay calls it quits.
What about you, Nadeska?
I don't think I have a long list, but for me, I would like to see Cole do a couple projects with producers, like someone like Premier, for example. But we know how he is. He's like super involved in his production always. And as a fan, the one thing I've always wanted from him is to collaborate a little bit more. So maybe for him, that's cool. Because he also executive produced Young Thug's album, right? Like he knows, but it would be cool for him to hand that over to somebody else, do a full project.
That'd be fine.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up Just Blaze. I would like to see a whole Drake Just Blaze project.
Yeah,
one of my favorite records from Drake is Lord Knows. And so I would love to see just 5 or 6 joints. Ain't got to be a whole
nice little EP.
Yeah, just something. TDE's on Punch. Started by Gilly King, $1 million worth of game. He argued that rappers who aren't hitting it big by a certain age need to give it up. And that if you're not getting any traction, I guess Gilly going hard here, doing it with no traction makes you a loser. Punch in a tweet seemingly responded with, I've always thought the older you get, for some, the wiser you become, therefore the information you speak would be better. Is there an age limit in hip hop? I think it depends on the type of hip hop you're making. I think there's timeless and music in general. I don't even think it's limited to hip hop, because there's definitely people performing at dive bars and little round the way spots all over the world that had aspirations of being much bigger, but they still have a love and passion for playing the drums or the guitar, and they're in a little jam band and they're whatever. And they might even put out records on the side, and they're not trying to, you know what I mean? And I think it's the same in hip hop. I know cats that are 32, 33, 34 years old, and they're still putting out records, and they have their little bass that they perform with, and it's an outlet for them. I don't think you have to give that up necessarily unless you're not paying your bills.
I was going to say, maybe he means if you're pursuing this full-time at 39, you haven't had...
But if it's a hobby on the side,
you go jam on Saturdays.
Look at it like this. Like, Jay started his first album at what, 26?
26 was Reasonable Doubt came out.
Reasonable Doubt when
and he had been around before that.
Yeah, but
that
like
was
officially, hitting the scene. He's what, 53 now? And he's still acting as if he's that 26-year-old. I don't think there should be an age limit. We always do this shit in hip hop where it's like, you got to stop at a certain age, or you can't start at a certain age. It's like, what's the point? Like, if I'm an age, I have experience. And if I have experience, I have content. And if I have content, I have people that want to hear and want to, check my message or check my experiences out. So I don't agree with what Gilly's saying, that if you're at this point and you're not popping, it's just like, maybe I just love fucking making music.
I think it's expectation, what you're talking about.
Right.
Now, if you expect to get popping after a certain age, that might be where you get in the congratulations, you played yourself. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just, like I said, feeding your fan base and you develop the fan base, I don't think nothing wrong with that. I don't know, Conway and West Side Gun and them, they got popping in their 30s.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think another piece of the convo, though, is also consumption habits, too, right?
Yeah.
I think what people don't think about when they're thinking about the rate of consumption of the audience is the people with the most time to spend listening to music are 12 to 24 years old. Because they ain't got shit else to do.
We're listening to music when it's convenient.
When we got time.
When I got time, right? Like when I
And it better make sense.
And it
Because
better
you
be
ain't
good.
fucking up my commute with your bullshit, bro.
Right.
If I got 15 minutes to commute,
That shit better
and
be
I
fire.
turn on your shit, bro, you ain't fucking up this little 15 minutes of freedom I got. I got kids
Right.
and shit.
Where are you commuting to for 15 minutes? Where do
you
you
know,
live?
from one studio to another.
From like Montana
okay.
to like
Oh,
where
you
you take
talk-
the
okay,
jet?
yeah,
What
yeah.
you
That's
talking about?
my from one studio to another. That's
okay,
my
that's
commute.
you. Oh, so you talking
15
about
minutes.
yourself?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's
okay.
times I open up people's albums, I'll be like, damn, 22 songs, I ain't got time for this.
You got 30 seconds per song.
I ain't got
Keep it
time.
moving.
You brought up the blog era, so clearly you're not happy that you weren't here last week
No.
when we had Jeff and
Eric, yeah.
Eric from ItstheReal talking about their blog era podcast.
Right.
Did you have a chance to see how we hosted them?
Yes, it was very, very
Did
nice.
we do a good job?
Yeah.
Because we're not of the blog era, so
As
We
you
just
know,
wanted to do right by
Ebro
you.
just wanted to get one off and remind everybody
That's fine.
that the blog era fucked up everything. And now there's way too much music and no
look, this is what y'all wanted.
So,
no
no, all right,
gatekeepers.
so- no, all right, so
you know what I'm
tell-
saying? Everybody got access. Everybody got
hold on,
something
hold
to
on.
say.
All right,
How's it
so-
going?
all right, so tell-
How's it working out? Everybody happy? No, there's some amazing things, by the way.
Okay.
But I think we would have had those anyway.
So
But-
tell me why. All right. So tell me why you think the blog era fucked up.
No, I'm only doing that to troll you. I don't.
Okay,
I think honestly, if I'm being honest about what the blog era and people with blogs did and do is create a space of their own, create an audience, and they have to do the work to get the audience. Like you have to build an audience, you have to be credible with that audience, you have to have relationships in the game to get access to records. Like it was a lot of things, and I think as media shifted, right? What years the blog era? What years is that?
Something like 08, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually 2006 to like 2013, 14 maybe.
So that whole thing was riddled full of business changes. The record industry was changing. Radio, media was getting bought and sold and downsizing. I think YouTube's coming on strong at that time. Social media's coming on strong at that time.
Twitter's
starting to take shape. All of these different platforms. So I think it was great that people who had an interest in hip hop and took it upon themselves to create an identity, a profile, and figure out their way to having a voice that matters in the game. I think it's resourceful and great. It's hip hop. That's what
No,
hip-hop
like
is.
I mean, like my whole thing was I always wanted to be on radio and do shit like that, but I didn't have access, like you said. I didn't have access to it. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the experience. So because I was a good writer, because I had access to music, and because I started forming great relationships, I think, you know, you heard that new pretty much got me here on the seat. You know, it gave me a voice to talk about my favorite artists, expose new artists, talk my shit, leak records, and just become an informative figure that people can rely on for just, you know, some of their favorite shit in hip hop.
So the YouTube comments are from last week's episode with It's the Real. One person says, we need a changing of the guards.
They talking
I mean,
to
you
you
fe-
blog era cats. They tired of y'all already. See, y'all used to complain about us old heads, and now look at you. They complaining about you.
I don't know what the fuck you want me to tell them, but
I don't know. What did you want to hear from me when you was tweeting me back in the day talking about we old?
I didn't want to
and we-
hear shit
What did
from
you
you.
need?
I just
what
wanted
kind of love and attention
I just
did
wanted you to
need?
get the fuck out the way
For what?
because I wanted my fucking shot.
Why?
Because
Based on what?
Based on the knowledge I had, the passion I had.
You sitting
the
up in your
access I
bedroom
had.
listening to rap records, studying lyrics.
Yeah, that's how you did it
Supposed
too.
to qualify. No, it ain't.
How you did it?
No, it ain't. I started as an intern answering phones.
I was an intern too.
You know, you should have stayed wherever you was at.
I was at Bad Boy
Worked your
Records.
way up. They got rid of interns
Yeah,
fast.
I know, yeah.
And by the way, I'm glad you brought up Bad Boy Records because that really wasn't, being an intern for Bad Boy wasn't your path. And that's a big mistake that people make. People think the media business is the record business. It's not, right? The way this works is really based on you having a relationship with the people who actually own the microphones and own the platforms, and them seeing your work over an extended period of time and then trusting you that you're not going to decimate the business with your tomfoolery and shenanigans when you get an opportunity.
I think that's what
You know what?
I think that's how you helped us.
That's how you
I
help.
think that's how,
Yeah?
that's how you helped. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Sway had her.
Oh, so yeah, so
he,
yeah,
he
yeah,
took care
yeah.
of Nadeska.
MTV,
He got her
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I think since we're feeling so nostalgic, we should check out some photos. Maybe we'll see Lo as an intern
Is
in
this
these
the
photos.
blog era
We're gonna
photos
see like
on this show?
Ebro had hair, the beard was like fully black. This is the
Yeah.
best part of these photos, I think,
best
seeing
All right, which one we got?
where we starting?
What year was that, Lo? Me and you. Me and the fedora and
say,
The outfits
yeah,
were
it's like
crazy.
2016, 17, I want to say. That's me, Nick Cannon, and rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Karen Civil hosted that dinner in LA. It's me and Pusha T.
That's blog era.
All right, so I tried to follow the homework assignment. Wiz definitely came up in the blog era, right? I think I only submitted 3. Big Sean.
Oh, early Big Sean.
Right?
Yeah.
And then just one of the worst outfits of all time, but
Who?
Kendrick blog era.
Kendrick?
Me.
Why would you say that about
No, not
Kendrick?
You said
Kendrick.
Kendrick is horrible? Like the
Not my outfit.
Ah,
There we
blog
go.
era.
There we go.
Me
This
and
is your
Cole,
best
early
pose
Cole.
I've ever seen.
I don't know
like
what was
this.
happening. Oh, early Shrimp Life.
Oh.
Early Shrimp Life.
Okay.
Classic. That was me on Nadeska show.
Full circle.
I forgot that we met here.
Yeah, Miss Info.
Info, shout out
right?
Miss Info. She's definitely blog era.
Boom. Blog era picks with the Rap Life Review family.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of the Rap Life Review. I'm Nadeska, and you can catch me here every single week with Lowkey and Ebro. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing, give us a like, and drop a comment so we can hit you back next week.